Empowering You would like to welcome you to knowing your value. Really, what are you worth? Empowering You supports salon owners and service providers with the tools to effectively run their business. We support you in a wide variety of platforms, which include our Salon and Spa VIP consulting, our B School for industry, our instant income for service providers, our custom in-salon makeovers, our RevUp consulting for solopreneurs, our fierce front desk training, and our leadership and life coaching. Today, we're going to be discussing the importance of knowing your value, review what might be holding you back, and identify if charging the correct prices for your services are really going on. Money. I know talking about it can make people feel so uncomfortable, and so many of us stress over it on a daily basis. But the reality is this: you have to have it to live the lifestyle that you really want to live. When the conversation comes up about your prices, this so many times makes so many people just cringe, and really, honestly, it should not. So, do you know your worth? Do you really have the right prices that reflect your value? Here's a couple of questions to think about. Do you know your value as a service provider? Do you fully know and appreciate your skill level? And are you charging what you're truly worth? The question is, why can some service providers charge top dollar for their services while others barely even make it? Now, I know this guy. He's a top stylist in New York City. He recently raised his prices for a haircut from $950 to $1,200. Yeah, from $950 to $1,200 for just a haircut. Now, I understand we're all not going to be at that level, or maybe we can. I don't know. But what makes him confident in charging those high prices versus somebody like you? So, whether you're charging $25 or $1,000 for a haircut, the same question needs to be asked. What special credentials do you possess? I'm certain that some of you might be thinking, what? Like, who can really charge $1,000 for a haircut? There's no way I could ever charge that. And I don't live in New York City. That's where all the celebrities live. If you're finding yourself thinking any of those thoughts, it's time for a serious paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is changing the way that you think. It's all about transformation. If you're finding yourself thinking any of those statements, you could never charge that much for a haircut, you don't live in a big city, your clients would never spend that much, you're in need of a true shift through this process. So many service providers don't charge the prices they're worth because they're so scared. Fear, fear, fear. Fearful if they raise their prices, they're going to lose their clients. I've heard that a million times. Fearful that other service providers in the salon and spa will take poorly of them, and they're going to think, oh, well, she can charge it, but she's not worth it. Or fearful that the quality of service doesn't justify the price increase. Let me tell you that is just fear and the stories we're telling ourselves. It's actually what's holding you back from doing great things. So let's address the number one fear that service providers have in relating to charging more for their services. The number one fear is this: it's all about losing the clients. They're so scared the clients will not return. They are so fearful of this that many service providers live in the space. If they were to raise their prices, they're going to lose all of their clients. First of all, that is just a story that you're telling yourself. Clients understand and respect when their service provider increases their prices, especially if it's celebrated increase. You just returned from a week-long advanced training. You provide wow experience. You're consistent. You're lovely. The environment is spot on. You have to remember the relationship as service provider and client is very unique. Now, yes, you might lose a few clients due to the price increase, and I promise you, it's okay. Be the professional and recommend another service provider to maybe care for them, maybe one that will actually meet their budget. I promise you there's 100 clients behind that one person that would love to sit in your chair. On the other hand, like I said, you're going to pick up new clients. The client that calls a salon and spas and says, who charges the most, or I'm the top stylist, I want that person. Those are the clients that you really do want. On the other hand, you'll see that new clients are on your appointment books. Why? It's simple. Some clients simply prefer to see service providers that charge the most for their services. It happens all the time. Believe it or not, some clients call your salon and spa and inquire about who is going to charge the most. They want to be with somebody that charges the most, and they want to be booked They want somebody that has like urgency and that they are book solid and that people are loving them. So, yes, you might lose a few clients that are comfortable with the price increase, and you're going to replace those clients with new clients. It is a balancing act. It all starts from knowing your value or your worth as a service provider. What do you bring to the table? How do you serve your clients? What education or skill set do you possess? And what sets you apart from other service providers? One of the biggest challenges I see and I hear in the industry is service providers not knowing their value. And when this occurs, they typically undercharge. I love the statement, don't undervalue your work because you're worth more than you think. So come on, start charging really what you're worth. All right, so we're going to take a self-assessment to see really, are you ready? So when was the last time you had a price increase? Was it a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Do you provide outstanding customer service experience? Not some of the time, but all the time. Do you continue to educate yourself and grow yourself as a service provider? Now, I'm not referring to you going to one trade show a year, like and go look at the deals on products. I'm talking about giving yourself some advanced classes, classes that actually challenge you to become a stronger service provider. Do you create the best culture for your customers? Do you put your best foot forward every single time inside the appearance of the salon? Do you have a salon environment, customer care, consistent experiences? These are some serious questions to be looking at yourself, and you need to think about them because top service providers can answer yes to every single one of these. Another area for you to consider is, do you actually know your numbers? Not your phone number. What I mean is, do you know your average service ticket? How about percentage of rebooks? Or even the percentage of referrals? How many customers do you even see? All these numbers are going to tell you a story. The story is, how demand are you? Do people really want to see you? Do they want to be in your chair? I can promise you, these are going to be the keys to your success, is knowing these numbers. The story behind the numbers is a simple story. The story goes something like this. If you're not in demand, then I would discourage you from raising your prices. I always advise stylists or service providers to raise their prices when they get to be at least 80% booked. If your salon numbers show that you're ready for a price increase, I suggest you sit down with a salon manager, review your numbers, and discuss the plan for this increase. Make certain you provide your customers with ample notice. I suggest that you talk to each one of your guests and let them know you've had a modest price increase and that for next time, their haircut price will be X. Keep your eyes open for your complimentary Know Your Value tool from your friends at Empowering You. Empowering You again wants to thank you for taking the time and energy and participating in this training webinar. We'd like to leave you with a parting quote. It's time to make a positive and permanent change. It's time to embrace your leadership potential. It's time to live and lead an empowered life. If you'd like any more information or any support on how to charge your worth, please contact us at 812-455-1367.